What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the debt that was released into the market. We're going to talk about some of the precautions that we're taking here at my office. I think that that's important for people to know. And we're going to talk about the stock market, about what has happened, and what I call hypocrisy on the when they talk about socialism in the economy. And I'm going to also talk about the daily visualization exercise that is very important, especially in times like we're in right now, that you stay positive, that you control your mind. Don't let other people control your mind. Also, I want to talk about what happened at the grocery store yesterday that caught me by surprise, and also my wife and we were scrambling all around to get wipes and different things. Okay, so first, what we're doing here at my office and with my other businesses that we have is that we're, number one, we educated or made our employees aware of number one, at the end of the day, stack up all of their papers and they wipe down the desk, the mouse, keyboards. We wipe down the door handles on all of the doors. Today we're going to wipe down, I'm going to have them wipe down the walls. We've always done a bathroom checks, but we're gonna pay more attention to that. Also, this is an office environment, so just to make sure that everybody's following the instructions. We have a kitchen area. Make sure everybody's following instructions there, keeping stuff clean. When people come into the office, we want to make sure if anyone shows any signs of being sick, that we ask them, and then we, if they look like they're very sick, then we would ask them to come back at a better time, or we would ask them to just leave their information, and then we will follow up with them. So that's what we're doing. We're doing that at all of the businesses, and also especially for my daughter's store, my Animix, is that they have these tables where people, the kids or even adults, they come and they play games, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all these different card games, and they've posted signage at each table. They've also, and I'll get into this in a second, got hand sanitizers at each table, wipes at each table, and they also sent out a notice to everyone on Facebook and with the email that's on our email list for the store, about the precautions that we're going to be taking at the store, and they're going to be paying close attention. And my wife's situation, so she helps my daughter on every Friday at the store, and we go there some of the times on the weekend. So we want to make sure that things are okay there, because we don't want to put my wife into a certain situation. We've also canceled certain events that we were going to be attending due to my wife's situation. She just cannot afford to get sick. When they talk about conditions that people have that they should make sure that they take extra precaution, my wife has a respiratory situation, and so she cannot afford. The last time when she got sick last year, and I talked about it in my last video, that she had this one here, and I'm not going to mention the name of it because my other video got slammed by YouTube, so I'm not even going to mention it. But you know what I'm talking about. She was put in the hospital for a week, and this is very serious, and this was just another strain of it. Now, something that happened at the grocery store is that we were going around trying to get hand wipes and sanitizers and all that stuff, and we went to several stores, the office stores, all of that. Everybody was out. Shelves were cleared out. Grocery stores, shelves cleared out. And I was like, while I was in there, I was like, wait, there's a run on other stuff too, like toilet paper, paper towels, food was low. And I was like, well, maybe we need to better prepare ourselves even for this other stuff because we're already behind the game with not having a big large amount of wipes and the hand sanitizer and all of that stuff. We were like, well, we dropped the ball on that, not anticipating. We better anticipate taking care of ourselves. We need to sustain ourselves in the house for more than a week or so. And so we went around, and I ended up going grocery shopping, and it was like Six Flags in the grocery store. The line, if you can imagine this, was all like they got all of the registers, but it was like 2 rows deep down, and then all the way down the store to the frozen food aisle. I mean, it was like a long line, unbelievable. But I know that grocery store, and on the other side of the grocery store, I knew that there were other checkout aisles that I guess a lot of people just never knew about. So I went over there, and the line was a lot shorter. But then I remembered that they have a liquor department also that's separate. You go into another door, and so I went into there with my big shopping cart, and I started checking out stuff, and they were like, "Do you have any liquor?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I started checking stuff out, and it was on the self checkout. So I got all of that stuff done, and I had 3 big packages of toilet paper, and I remember on a sign that it said only take 2, but I was thinking maybe they just don't want people to be like greedy, like don't take 10 or whatever. So I took 3 because I wanted to get an extra one for my daughter because she had mentioned that they had went to one of the stores and that it was out completely. So I was like, well, let me get another one for them, even though they had some at home. They had a lot at home, but they just wanted to stock up also. And so I tried to get 3 packages. And when I was checking out, the last thing that, if you can imagine this, on this, probably about, like a little tray. It wasn't like the long self checkout counter. I had my stuff stacked up on there. You could even, when I put the toilet paper and the paper towels on there, you couldn't even see me from the other side. And but the machine would not let me check out because they had programmed the machines that if you had 3 toilet papers, 3 packages, to not let you check out. So the person came over and they were like, I should cancel out the whole thing because you didn't have any liquor. And I was like, don't do that, just please. And so they took away that one, and then they let me check out, and that went good. But I had noticed right then and there that this was a serious situation, and that precautions do need to be taken, regardless if it, slows down quickly. But please take precautions all the way around. It's like having insurance. It's like having car insurance in a way when you take precautions. It's just that we're not used to taking precautions on things like food and getting things to make sure that we have enough soaps and stuff like that. That's things that we just usually get week to week. But there's a rush on all that type of stuff. And then, funny story, true story, we ended up making the hand sanitizers for the store. We have enough here at the offices, but we didn't want to take it away from the offices. We wanted to have enough at the store. My wife, when we went to one of the places we went to was, I think it was Family Dollar or one of those places. They had a sheet that said, this is how you make it. And so you get aloe vera. You need 100% aloe vera. not juice. And then you need rubbing alcohol. That mixture, and then I don't remember the amount, but you had to put a certain amount of the aloe vera and then a certain amount of the rubbing alcohol, and then you shake it up, and then it'll be just like what they sell to us in the stores. And reason why they had the aloe vera, because I was asking my wife, well, why not use the rubbing alcohol? Everybody knows that alcohol, can tear up any germs. And she was like, because of the smell. And it'll dry your hands out too much. And you don't want cracks, because if you have cracks in your hand, then you allow germs to get into your system that way. So she made, I think, about 10 bottles for the store. And so we're all good to go on that. And we had a whole bunch of wipes already. That's something that we just always had a bunch of. We're running a little bit low here at the office, so we're going to have to keep our eye on it. Even though I had restocked, we're going to have to keep our eye on it here at this office. Full of Kleenex and paper towels and toilet paper here. Always buy big packages from the office store. So now let's get into the debt. And also I want to make a note on what to do if you're having financial issues, what you can do to not have to pay your payments for a little bit. And companies are going to have to follow this. This is the law, and especially with what's going on right now, they're going to have to follow it. And please let me take a drink real quick. All right, the debt. It was a quiet day yesterday, but they did release a couple of accounts. These here are national banks, credit cards, major credit cards from national banks. Average account balance is $5,400, $2.86 million, and their charge-off date 2007, so it's past statute of limitations. They're trying to sell this for $1,300. Charge-off date 2007, so we know, if you've been watching my videos, this is past statute of limitations. So if you get anything from this, anything in the future about an old credit card that you had from charge-off date 2007, you do not have to pay it. This is a collection that you will not have to pay. You legally do not have to pay it unless you live in Rhode Island. You might have to pay it. The next one here is a major credit cards, 1.3 million. Charge-off date 2013, past statute of limitations for most states except for Rhode Island and the other 3 that have a 10-year statute of limitations. Average balance $3,300. They're selling it for $2,097. Again, I'm going to tell you what to do if you have a debt that is past statute of limitations. You can look on my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, to see if it's past statute of limitations. If it's for your state, this would be under contract law. The way that you find out if it's the charge-off date is you need to look at your credit reports, and if you don't have access to your credit reports, and you're going to need to have a paid monitoring service, because the free ones don't always show the information that you're going to need. It's going to be in the comment section. I invite you to go to my website, 3scores.com. Grab your reports, look in the comment section for the account that they're claiming that you owe, and then look at the charge-off date. It's going to have the charge-off date, and also look to see if it's been canceled. Because if it's been canceled, they're really breaking the law to try to come after you for it. Canceled mean that they did a debt forgiveness on it, and you probably received a 1099 on it in the past, and you just didn't remember, or you're going to get one in the future. But if it's in there saying charge off, you get it, and it's past statute of limitations, you just have to simply write a letter stating that to the debt collector that according to the laws in your state, that this debt is past statute of limitations according to the laws in your state, and that you request that they cease all collection activities, and that you will be reporting them to the proper authorities. Proper authorities is the debt. I'm sorry, the Department of Financial Institution. That's our who handles debt collection, who licenses handles a license for debt collection companies here in our state of Wisconsin. But in your state, it could be a different one, and you can also report them to the state attorney general's office. All right, let's move forward here. So that's what's going on with the debt. The other thing is stock market was down. It has been down. They've had what's called circuit breaker. You probably heard it on the news, and that's when it goes down more than 1,400 points. And it's actually went down more than 1,400 points 2 times this week. It's had that problem in the market that went down like that. And what that does is when it goes down 1,400 points in a session, they will close. They will do what's called a pause. They'll pause trading, and then they'll I think it was 15 minutes. They pause trading for 15 minutes, and then what they're doing is the big money people are calling everyone saying, what are you going to do? Why don't you hold? It's like, because I think that stock market is fixed. In a way, it is fixed. People do know what's going on. There's insiders. But what they do is they all start talking, and they say, why are you selling, or why don't you hold, or this and that. I think that it's just a time period for big banks and everybody to try to come together and say, why don't we, for the overall health of the market, why don't we just hold our positions? But people are not holding their positions because people want their money. And the problem is that even though the market's in my opinion is in a way fixed, it is a real market. And what I mean by that is that there's real companies, there's real money, and what people are afraid of is that there's one way that you can lose all of your money in a stock. There's one way. Like, you don't lose unless you sell your stock. If the stock goes down, you lose value, but you don't lose it until you sell. So a lot of people will hold, like I'm holding right now. I'm down since last Wednesday. I'm down over $26,000, and I had made $26,000 since November of 2019. We made some new investments, and those like skyrocketed, and we had went up, and then all of a sudden over the last week and a half slammed down into way negative territory, and then into the territory of where it was below what we had actually put into it. So we're negative of the money. We've lost money that we've also invested. Like, we've always, even when it's been going up and down, we were always way above what we had actually put in. And but there's one way that you can lose your money, and that is if the company does not have money to pay. Because when someone wants to sell, unlike a Ponzi scheme that might be out there, someone has to be willing to buy. But if not, the company has to sell they have to give that money back for that stock. That's part of the whole deal. In a Ponzi scheme, they try to find other people to put money in. In the stock market, the company is responsible. So what it can do is it can put the company into a position where they have to file bankruptcy, and that's where it puts a lot of us and people at risk, because if the company files bankruptcy, they could be released from that stock. or that stock value could go into to be worth pennies, where it's not worth anything, and when they do the bankruptcy. So that is the risk that we're taking, and but we're holding tight. We believe that the stocks that we have are companies like these are really good companies, that they're only being affected by uh, about by what's going on, not by their business model itself. But now, what I mentioned earlier about socialism is that they've beat up Bernie Sanders about socialism, and you know how that we don't want to be a socialist society. And no, we don't want to be a socialist society in the terms of what you've seen with other countries, but socialism is here in this country. When they bail out banks, that's socialism. When they bail out mortgage companies, that's socialism. When they bail out the stock market and give them money, and a lot of the times that they've given them money, they did not have to pay that money back. That's what I would consider socialism, to prop them up, and so, but when they try to give that money to the people, which is really giving the people their own money back, they call that socialism. Like, they don't want to do that, which is, I guess that's just kind of a crazy way of thinking. Our fire departments, police departments, anything that is financed, schools that is financed by tax money, is a form of socialism. And but people are afraid of socialism because of what they've seen with other countries. There's what our country is. We live in a democratic socialist society, and people need to understand that the definition is not the same as what you see in other countries. Our country is ran totally different. Now, let's talk about what you need to do if you have trouble making your payments. I'm talking about your car payment, talking about your mortgage, your credit cards, any type of payments that you have. You need to get ahead of the game and prepare, and make the appropriate contacts with your creditors about deferring your payments. This is an excellent way for you to not get yourself in trouble with your creditors, and that they will understand, especially with what's going on right now in the market, that they would have to understand. But you got to get to the right department. Don't just stop all communications with your creditors. Let them know if you're having financial problems due to not being able to work as many hours, or your company has laid you off, or anything that has put a disruption in your income. They do have departments. You need to call them and ask for the hardship department, or ask to speak to customer service. Tell them your situation, and tell them you want to see how you can get a deferment, and see how many months they could do a deferment on your payments. I've seen them do in the past at least 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. You never know if there's options to go further than that. Um, you need to be aware that the interest keeps accruing. That it does not stop the interest; it just stops you from having to pay the payment. And what they'll do is just add it on to the back of your payment, but the interest will still add up each day, or however your loan is put together. It will still add interest. So it's like, in a way, like when they do those 90-day same as cash type loans, or financing things at the furniture store, the 1 year same as cash. If it hits the year and you don't pay it off, they will throw all of that interest onto the loan also. But this one here is where they will put the interest on the loan. It'll just be added up each day, and then as you make your payments, you'll probably notice that the interest, it was extended out further. Um, so let's see here if I had anything else. Oh, the daily visualization. We want to make sure that you're visualizing yourself for success. this is like an exercise. It's early in the morning here. I haven't done mine yet, but as soon as I finish with this video, I'm going to do mine. I'm telling you, good things will happen in your life if you could just get to doing it. I've done it this way that I'm currently doing it, and where I just sit down. Sometimes hold my hand like this, and what you do is you visualizing yourself uh, interacting with what your goals are, what you want your life to be. It's not just saying it. You're like, let me give you an example. I visualize myself, meeting people and they're congratulating me for a specific goal. I visualize myself taking a trip and visualizing what I'm seeing on that trip with my wife. I'm visualizing my family congratulate me. All these different things I'm visualizing. It's like taking it a step further than just reading something. It's like you're painting a picture in your mind, and there is a old saying: "What you see is what you get." And if you see negative, you get back negative. If you see positive, you get back positive. But you sometimes have to visualize and manipulate your your what's the word that I want to say? Manipulate what you're seeing, because two people can look at the same thing and see two different things, and that's because of the mindset. So the first thing that you see is what you have visualized in your mind, and then you get back that's like a good example is when you're looking at buying a certain type of car, all of a sudden you see that same car everywhere, and that's because you visualized one way and your awareness is open to seeing that thing. So if you visualize good, positive, what you want, you will start to see what you want visualize in front of you or visualize around you. That's just the way that this whole thing works. So please do that. It is very important, just like eating breakfast or eating dinner or exercising. This is an exercise that you need to do for your mind. So we're going to be ending the video here. If you need assistance with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website link below. The number 3 scores.com. I'm also going to post it on the screen here. Please like this video. Liking the videos helps us get it out to more people that need help. There are millions of people that are seeking information about this, and everybody's at their own different level on what they've been exposed to and their education about credit and debt. So it's very important that we I keep putting out content, and that I need your help to like and share and become a subscriber to the channel, because it helps us get this information out to more people. So I wish all of you safety. Take your precautions. Everything is already better. Visualize that everything is better, and things will get better a lot faster. This is Stephen Williams, founder and president of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you.